All right. I'll go ahead and start recording. When is today again? Okay, April 6th. All right, guys, welcome. I'm glad to be back after 2 days off. Today is April the 6th, and as usual, we'll be going over US 30, gold, and EU trades. So let's see what we have. So the first 5 to 10 minutes of market open, we don't trade in order to let the markets just stabilize. But you can see US 30, we are in a heavy supply zone. So we have nothing but supply on US 30. So in any case, let me see if I can get a good sell setup. But you can see if I take this off, US 30 created a death cross here on the 5 minute. So what I'll do here, I'll go and create a hanging trend line on the 5 minutes, and then I'll try to look for a trend line on the downside. So yeah, I really don't see anything to create there. Yeah, so we need a lower high to be established on the 5 minute. But I do expect US 30 to keep moving to the downside. And you can see we have an hourly bearish. So we have a 4-hour bearish high here. We have an hourly bearish high here. So we have a lot of high time frame sell opportunities. So we'll just wait for that. Let's see if I can move this control somewhere else. For gold, let's see what we have on gold. So gold came from an hourly bearish low. So this was during news. So for gold, the trend line, I'll draw it from here down to here. Let's see, just a second. I'm sorry. Okay, let's see. Just gotta keep waiting for US 30 to come back up. Same thing as gold. We also have a death cross on gold on the 5 minute. Wait, are you guys able to see my screen? Yeah, I'm guessing so. All right. Yes. So let's see if we can find something on EU as well. So we need an established lower high. So for EU and gold and US 30, I'm waiting for an established lower high. But until then, this is just risky trade. So we'll just have to wait for US 30 to create a lower high. We'll have to wait for gold to create a lower high. But these assets are bearish. US 30 is bearish. I'll turn this off for now. US bearish, gold is bearish. EU also is turning to bearish. Let's see. US 30. Um, does anybody have any questions? Because right now it's pretty much just a waiting game. Let's see. Put the zones back. Yeah, but US 30, so I do see a lower high being created. So possibly we have what? We have a 4-hour bearish high here and an hourly bearish high. So I do do see some retracement on US 30 coming up. So price will probably retrace to around the 200 DMA, or also this structure area. So maybe the range for a little bit and then break back down. So that's going to be possibly our lower high. And if we go back on the markups, you'll see that this zone is around the 4-hour bearish, the hourly bearish high. So we just need a retracement for this assets. And if it goes away, I mean, that's fine. Gold is coming to a demand zone, within a demand zone, but I'm not looking to catch any sell, any buy yet for gold. If you look at gold on the hour time frame, so we have these patterns repeating themselves, right? So we have a possible head and shoulders on gold on the hourly. So right here, this higher high is the left shoulder. You have the head, which is the higher high, and a possible head that's going to probably be here at around 2020. So my guess is that this will be established as a lower high. So if that's the case, gold is going all the way to about 1978. But remember, we still need to tap the 2050 target on gold. And right now you can see prices rejecting exactly from this demand zone within a demand zone. But gold definitely needs to complete this structure on the hourly to around 1980. But I still expect gold to go to about 2050. So yesterday, gold rejected from 2032 area. So if you guys remember, from a couple of live sessions way back, I did say that gold will have a sell at around 2032 area. And I also did, so if I go to the general chat, yeah, like a few days ago, I had mentioned the short at around 2032. When gold reached 2032, it literally just melted from that zone. So it's just a matter of being patient. So yeah, still, I wouldn't try to catch any buy on this assets. In any case, I need a sell, but I need a retracement to the upside so that I can have better confluence for a sell. Because you can see for gold, this is the trend line we have on gold on the 5-minute, right? So we have this higher high and this lower high. So you can see this is all the way up here. So I wouldn't even want to enter any sell right here because gold has all this way up. It can retrace before coming back down. So it has like 140 pip zone it can easily go to. Um, EU. So EU is rejecting from a demand zone. Yeah, but right now I'm only looking for entries on gold and US 30. I just need some good retracements to the upside. Uh, on the 4-minute. And I'm pretty sure if we go on the trend, we're in a sell trend for, you can see also, like if you're using our indicator, you can see we are in a sell channel even below it. So Yeah, so I did say this zone 480. So this is the critical zone for a sell. So we just need a retracement to come back up to around 33, 480. Now there is it is possible to catch a buy, but I don't want to risk it because US 30 can literally waterfall. So it doesn't have to come back up to give us a lower high before dropping. It can literally just keep dropping for the rest of the day from here. So that's why I wouldn't even want to catch any reversals for US 30. Yeah, right now in game, I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to catch any trades, but if you guys have any questions, you can go ahead and ask them.
Yeah, I have a question.
Mhm,
It's about your risk reward.
mhm,
I wanted to know why you decided to take a one-to-one risk reward. Like for example, when we took some of the trades, like on US 30, sometimes it's like the most of the time it went like 1 to 3, one
mhm,
to two. Like,
mhm.
is it because you are like a scalper, you want to go in and go out fast?
Yes, yes. So ideally, yeah, you're right. So it's because I'm a scalper and I don't want to hold on to any trade for more. At most, I want to be probably in a trade for 15 minutes. Yeah. But yeah, you can go for like bigger, like 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 4. Yeah. Um, let's see. I want to let's see. So I want to make sure my copy is working. I think that's working. The other, okay. Yeah, so here it's pretty much just a matter of waiting. This so you don't have to wait from just have the con if your confluences match with mine. So here you can see gold is holding at a demand zone within a demand zone. So this is a buy area. If I was looking for buys, I would buy gold here, but this is a again, if gold breaks this zone, we also have like a 4-hour bearish high down here. And you can see how this overall demand zone is about 140 pips also. So yeah, I wouldn't even unless a buy matches also for other confluences you have, I wouldn't try buying uh gold there. And unfortunately, we don't have any other sell confluence for gold.
Bison,
What's up?
normally does gold have more of a pullback than US 30?
You say more pullback?
Yeah, because I just took the signals on both of those
Uh-huh.
last bells, and
Hmm.
the US 30 worked out fine, but the gold, it was way more pullback than I expected, so it draw down.
By drawdown, do you mean stop
I
loss?
mean, yeah, hit stop loss, my fault.
Was it a 5 minute or 15 minute signal?
It's 15-minute signal.
Yeah, 15 minute signals don't go for the same stop loss as a five, especially on gold. Don't go for the same stop loss like you would on a 5 minute. And especially for a 15 minute, always wait for a retest of the 9 EMA to enter, even if you're getting a signal. So if I go on the gold chart right here, go 15 minute.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was
so
on the wrong chart. I was on a 5-minute. That's probably what happened to me on the gold one. I just see it.
okay. Yeah. Yeah. But even for the 15 minute, for 50 pips, because I'm guessing it was one of these candles, probably this one, you wouldn't have hit stop loss because, well, depending on what stop loss you're using, but if you're using 50 pips, For this one, 50 pips would have been 2040. Oh yeah, you would have been stopped out and then gold came back all the way and hit TP. Yeah. So for 15-minute time frame, do not use a 50 pip stop loss on gold. If you're gonna enter on impulse, use maybe 100 pip. If not, it's always like for this one, if you got the signal right here and waited for the retest of the 9 EMA, you could have survived this fake out that squeezed people out, and then gold would have dropped straight to take profit. Yeah, but for the 15-minute signal, either wait for the retest of the 9 EMA or just use a wider stop loss for that.
All right, cool. But these signals, what I'm learning, it's mainly patience and
Yeah. Yeah, it's patient. Yeah, on my account that takes each and every signal, I've just been in and out of profit, but I'm only up like $200 on that account, but I've made like 3 grand, lost 2,800. It's just back and forth. Yeah, but the other thing for these signals, if you have days that have heavy news, like I wouldn't use the for between Asia session and maybe London session tomorrow, because we do have NFP. Because what's gonna happen is you're gonna, especially on the 5-minute time frame. Actually, let me put it this way: during heavy news days, don't use the 5-minute signals. Probably be getting a buy. It's later you get a 5-minute. I mean, it's
I
still
don't know if it's just
because
me, but you're breaking up. It might just be me though.
oh,
I'm not sure.
No, you're breaking up also.
I'm breaking. I might have to switch my internet connection. Give me 1 second. Let me try something else. Give me 1 second. Let me reset. Join this one. All right. Let me know. Let me know if there's a difference now.
Yeah, you're good right now.
Okay. All right. If I break up again, let me know. And I probably have to turn all those off. Yeah. During heavy news days, ignore the 5-minute signal, be fine. Yeah, but you can see US 30, like even all these zones, we are in heavy sell zones. But I just need like a retracement at the very to around this 200 EMA that will give us a good sell. But right now we do not have any. Even right here, we have a 30-minute bullish high. We have a daily bearish. Okay, so we do have a daily bearish low that's being broken here. So possible. Okay, this will be a risky trade, but let me see if I can just hide the. So all of them are drawings, but this 5-minute candle, it's closing below a daily bearish low. So if it does close below and we get a retest at around 33,358, that would be a sell on US 30. But we have to that candle has to retest this zone and close below it. So I don't know if you guys can, I know we do have a lot of shadings here, but we do have a daily bearish low at 33,349. So closure below this zone and a retest of that zone and closure below, I will sell US 30. So if this candle retests, so it has to go up and retest the daily bearish zone. Yeah, but keep in mind, this might be a risky trade because I've definitely seen them use these zones as bullish zones. But since I'm bearish on US 30, this is the only sell I can see right now. Let me see how far it will be. 50. See. Okay, our stop loss will be up here. All right. And for this trade, let me remember how much I'm trying to risk. So I will risk 0.5%. Okay, there we go. We are getting that retracement to the upside. We don't want this candle blasting through that daily bearish high. So it's testing the daily bearish high. So again, I recommend you guys to wait for the closure of this candle. You can enter on impulse if you have proper risk. If you enter on impulse, don't use a 50 pip stop loss, use like 100 pip stop loss. And then you can always scale in when we get the confirmation. But we have like 3 minutes. But this is what I want to see. You can see that if I take this shadings off, it literally rejected from the daily bearish low. So that's what I want to see for a sell. But I need this candle to close. If this candle closes below there, we should get a spike to the downside. Yeah, the only reason I'm not trying to enter on impulse is this candle can literally blast through the daily bearish low and close above. So we just need to be patient for 3 minutes. All right, and you can see gold is blasting through that demand zone. EU, so EU is in an hourly bullish high zone, but I'm not seeing any trades for EU. So I am waiting for this US 30 to sell US 30. And we don't want this candle to close above the daily bearish low. So here we do have the Friday high and previous weekly high that are also protecting our position. Up here we have a 30-minute bullish high. We also have a demand zone up here, but this high time frame daily zone and this high time frame supply zone that's shaded in red supersedes this lower time frame bullish zones. All right, so we have a minute and a half remaining. Ideally, I would like this stop loss to be above this supply zone. So if you're able to, you can increase your stop loss to like 75 pips, but personally, I'm going to leave it at 50 pips. And you can see that candle is pretty much, I don't want this candle to close above the daily bearish low, which it might. So if that happens, we might then get an entry off of the 9 EMA. So we have 1 minute and the candle is right at the daily bearish low. So I just don't want this candle to close above the daily bearish low. On the hourly time frame for US 30, I don't see anything major. Okay, 50 seconds. 45 seconds. So there's a lot of indecision right here. But I want it to stay where it is. I don't want this candle to close above that. All right, 20 seconds. Let's see what happens. Okay, we have 10 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm in the trade right now. And we also got an hourly sell. All right, so it's still being held by that daily bearish low, and there you go, it's coming back down. So gold should also be dropping. It is testing this demand zone, but I don't have an entry to sell gold. I don't have anything on EU. So US 30 is the only trade that I'm in. There we go. So this where it is right now, we do have a demand zone up there. We do have a demand zone around the 9 EMA, but our stop loss is above the 9 EMA. Which one? Okay, so we had a rejection around the 9 EMA and it is dropping back below. So if this candle closes as a bearish, inverted bearish hammer candle, that will be good for us because that would be a bullish confirmation. So if we get this candle closing below, and this would be what, 71. Yeah, so if we do get an inverted bearish hammer candle, I might go in again because if that happens, I might scale into the position with a bigger lot size. I don't like this, just too many markups on that chart. So I'll just leave it as is right now. But just know or personally, I'm in a sell for US 30 right here at 33,349. So right now I'm just 10 pips in drawdown. Since we didn't trade yesterday, I'll just fill in yesterday and the day before. Just fill this in. So for the current week, we are only up 0.5% because we had a win on Monday. We didn't do a live session on Tuesday. We didn't do a live session on Wednesday. So, but for 2 weeks, if you've taken every trade with me, you should be up about 3.7% or 3.5%. And there goes US. So we have if this does close as an inverted bearish hammer candle, I might scale into the sell for US 30, but I don't need this candle to be too big of a bearish hammer candle. I don't need the body to be that big. If the body is big, I'll just let my sell keep running because already I'm back in profit in the sell that I'm in. But if this candle does close as a bearish candle, I expect a spike to the downside for US 30. You can see right here we have a demand zone. Our take profit is literally below that demand zone. So around this zone, around 33,325. Which would be about 20 pips in profit. So that's why we should be setting break even or securing half or whatever percentage. So right now we are back in profit for that trade. We just need so okay, one, and then let's see how this goes. All right, I'll turn this off again. But we do see, so once you see like such a wick, we do have a bunch of sellers right here. And at the very least, at least it's rejecting from the 9 EMA for us. So the wicks to the upside are longer than the wicks to the downside. So it doesn't mean that they can just run this all the way up. So remember, we don't have a trend line to the upside for US 30 because we only have a higher high. We still need a higher low to be established. I'm sorry, a lower high to be established so that so that it can confirm our downtrend. But right now we only have a higher high. So this US 30 can definitely go back up and start ranging and then create a lower high and then melt to the downside. But right now, the only reason we are in this trade is that we entered off of a daily bearish low zone. On the hourly time frame, I don't really see anything major on the hourly time frame for US 30. But we do see this is the first time, not the first time in a while, but we did have this candle close below the 9 EMA. The previous hourly candle retested the 9 EMA and melted to the downside, but nothing major on the hourly time frame for US 30. Gold, I do see this. This is, to me, this is a head and shoulders, and I do see gold melting to the downside even further if it doesn't reverse from where it is right now. EU on the hourly. Yep, EU on the hourly too. Look at this structure right here. So this structure needs to be completed to the downside. So I do see EU coming back to the 1.07 area. But you can see EU is going up. So right now, the sell we are in for US 30 is just in and out at break even. So there's no other news. We have a 10:30 news, but that's natural gas. Let's see, EU spike up. Yeah, this trade is just, at this point, it's just ranging. Let's see. Looking at my MT4, there's definitely trend lines that are holding US 30 also to the downside. But those can easily be broken. So keep in mind, so we still need a lower high to be established if a downtrend is to occur. And if a lower high is to be established, that means US 30 is possibly can trend up. So either now or later on after. So if I turn on this markups again, you do see we have demand zones down here. So it can either pick up liquidity to the upside, either where it is right now or right around halfway to our TP or after our TP. So hopefully that happens after our TP is hit. If not, then it is what it is. Yeah, I just don't like being in a trade for more than 15 minutes. And I don't have any other asset to trade. So more than likely, so gold is the price is being attracted to this demand zone. So you can see prices ranging within this demand zone in a demand zone, which is also around the like 2000, which is a psychological number.
Yeah, I just stopped out that US 30.
Yeah, so personally, I'm still in the trade because stop loss is 50 pips. Now, if it does close above this zone, no, I'm still gonna hold on to it. EU, okay. So EU on the 5 minute, this is nice. EU on the 5 minute, this might be a lower high on EU. Because if I do this, I'm pretty sure if I go on the 1 minute time frame, so on a 5 minute, this is a hanging trend line. If I go on the 1 minute, so on the 1 minute as well, this is a hanging trend line. So I need this to be established as a lower high on the 5 minute. Oh, I'm sorry, on the 1 minute and also on the 5 minute. The reason I'm looking to sell EU is also so we do have this structure on the hourly time frame that to me needs to be completed to the downside. Also, we do have a 30-minute bearish high, 30-minute bearish low. We have a 4-hour bearish low, hourly bearish low. We have a 4-hour and hourly bearish high here. So right now, if I do get an entry, did I get stopped out? So yeah, I got stopped out on the US 30 sell. So that's just -5 for the day for me. Where was I? EU. Okay. So this EU, I need so to me this sell would make sense because we are in high time frame sell zones. So I just need this trend line to be established on the 1 minute. So I need a lower high on the 1 minute. So it's fine if it keeps going up, even better because we want to sell high. So I'll just leave US 30. I'll just let it do its thing, but this trade did hit stop loss for minus 0.5 return for me for this trade. But it's fine if it goes up because then I'll wait for it to create a lower high and then I'll scale in, possibly with a bigger lot size. And, you know, it's ideally coming to an hourly bearish zone and 15-minute bearish zones and 4-hour bearish zones. So let US 30 keep going to the upside. So this is the trade I'm looking for on EU. Let's see what 20 pips. So ideally 20 pips stop loss, 20 pips take profit. Okay. So for this trade, I need structure on the 1 minute.
What would you risk on the EU 0.5 again?
For EU, what do I want to risk? So I'm already down 0.5 for the day. Yeah, I can risk 0.5. Since let's see how much I want to risk. Maybe 0.75. Uh, Yeah. Actually, yeah, 0.75. That's what I'll risk. So I'll go and put that on my chart on my trade manager. So yeah, I want it to keep going up around this hourly bearish high and bearish low. So I'm just waiting for structure to be made on the 1 minute, and then that's where I'll enter into a trade. For this one, I might enter earlier because we do have so this zone is a resistance zone. So if you look on the hourly time frame on the chart to my right, so we do have a lot of resistance to the upside. But for better confirmation, it's better to wait for this zone to be established on the 1 minute time frame. So the reason I'm using the 1 minute time frame is because I'm looking for a quick entry, because by the time this is established on the 5 minute chart, price will probably have melted to the downside. So we just need to wait. Oh, and actually, wait, I do have a trend line on EU to the upside where price just rejected from. So, but let me just wait for this to be created. But if EU does come back, okay, there it goes. I'm also looking at my MT4. So if it does come back around here, I'll enter on impulse. So around this zone, but I need price to come back up. So wait, this is 30, let's change this to 12. And I think what I'll do here, I'm trying to do something. Okay. Okay, so more than likely this will be the lower high, or ideally a higher high, because we are in an uptrend on the 1 minute. So whatever is established here, whether it's a higher high or a lower high, that's where I will enter EU. And actually for me personally, so I'll mark up this trade for 20 pips and 20 pips take profit, 20 pips stop loss. For me, I'll go for 10 pips take profit and probably 20 pips stop loss, but I'm still going to risk 0.75%. So I'm just going for a higher lot size, but a smaller stop loss. So let it keep going up. Keep pushing up. Okay. 3 seconds. So okay. I'm selling now, selling EU for that particular trade. Now, if this trade does hit stop loss, I am done for the day, because ideally that will be minus what? So this I'm risking 0.75, the other one I'm risking I lost 0.5. So it will be just minus 1.25 for the day if this does hit stop loss. But yeah. So that's the only trade I'm in. US 30, I will wait for US 30 to create a lower high. And at that point, I will find a trade entry for US 30. But right now, let it just keep going to the upside. I'll go back to the 5 minute. Now on the 5 minute, we had this possible bullish hammer forming, but I don't trade bullish hammers and inverted bearish hammers on forex pairs, because this one was only, so it was about 10 pips. Yeah. The other thing, so I did see we have a golden cross on EU on the 5 minute. But this golden cross is on the 5 minute. The zones I'm trading, they're hourly zones. So the hourly supersedes the 5 minute. But keep in mind, we do have a golden cross on the 5 minute, and we do have this bullish hammer that formed also on the 5 minute. So just know on the 5 minute time frame, we do have some buy confluences. But this cell is already in profit. I entered that cell based on higher time frame sell zones that we are in, which to me supersede the 5 minute buys on EU. So should be up in profit. All right, so as we let EU run US 30, yeah, so US 30 is still trying to create that lower high. So this might be that lower high, but until that is established, now if we do get a lower high and price comes back to the daily bearish low, at that point I will resell US 30 at around that. But for me at this point, US 30, I need a lower high to be created for me to even think of selling again. So EU, we're up about 5 pips in profit. So, and also keep in mind, so for any golden cross or death cross that's normally formed, price normally comes back to retest the 9 EMA or the 200 EMA. So I do expect price to keep dropping lower to at the very least touch the 9 EMA. And at this point, we'll be about 50% in profit when that does happen. So when price comes around this zone, so that's where we should be setting our break even or securing 50%. Yeah, but right now it's just a waiting game, but we are up on EU 5 pips in profit. Okay, let me see. So on the 1 minute, nothing much. Yeah, so keep in mind for the 5 5-minute time frame, we do have some bullish zones. Trying to see if I want to rethink this EU trade. Okay. So for this EU sell, I'm thinking of exiting at break even. I don't like this ranging. So I don't like how it's ranging right now on the 5-minute. On the other hand, we do have this bullish confluences on the 5-minute, even though the hourly, the high time frame zones supersede this lower time frame confluences. I still don't like the ranging in here. So I will look to exit this EU position at break even. So US 30. All right, so we do have a hourly, what's that? I think an hourly bearish high and a 4-hour bearish high on EU right here. Now, if this particular candle does come back and closes a bearish candle, I'll stay in the trade. But if it does close above our entry and then we do get a lot of ranging or consolidation right here, that's when I'll look to exit the trade. But right now, so ideally, I'm just waiting for this 5-minute candle to close, which closes in 1 minute. And I want it, so for me to stay in this trade, I want this candle to close as a bearish candle. If it doesn't close as a bearish candle, I will exit this position I think right now we are 2 pips or 3 pips in profit. So it depends on how that candle will close. So right now it's around break even for me. 2 seconds. Yeah, I will exit, close out this trade. Yeah. So I'll be out of that trade. Okay, I'm out of that sell on EU. I just don't like how price is moving at that zone. And just probably it's just gonna melt to the downside now that I'm out, but it is what it is. Yeah, so other than that, US 30 still waiting for creation of a lower high on US 30. Gold has been ranging in this demand zone for a while. But I'm not looking at any trades for gold because gold is away from any markups that we have. Even for the trend line, we don't have an established trend line on the 5-minute we do, but you can see the trend line is all the way up here. So actually this is a possible buy on gold because price is rejecting from this demand zone. We do have a trend line right here to the upside. The only thing is that we did have a death cross on the 5-minute, and gold literally looks like it wants to complete this structure to the downside. So I'm not gonna risk to catch a buy on gold. So same reason I just exited the EU trade at break even. Does anybody have any questions? I don't think I'm gonna get any other trade for today, but I'll observe US 30. If I do get a lower high on US 30, then I'll sell US 30 when that happens. But until then, this is just a risky zone we are in. So same thing as EU. So EU has started just ranging, and that's why I got out of the sell at break even. Gold is coming off of a demand zone within a demand zone. The trend line for gold is all the way up, so gold can possibly play out this way. So this is the demand zone, retest the demand zone, and then go to the trend line. And then at that point, shoot all the way back down. So yeah, so ideally this is a buy on gold because if this candle closes above, so we do ideally, how do we enter the buys, right? On the 9 EMA, we wait for closure above the 9 EMA, which is this previous 5-minute candle. Then we want the next 5-minute candle to retest the 9 EMA and close above. So if this candle closes above the 9 EMA, this will be a buy on gold for this move to go up. But for me, I will not enter that trade, because I'm already down 0.5 for the day, which is not a lot. Also, I just don't like how price is moving today. So this is to be expected because tomorrow we do have NFP, and the day before heavy news, you have a lot of fake outs and consolidation in the markets. So in any case, I might as well just save my liquidity or for tomorrow. So you can see, right, with a 50 pip stop loss on gold, you might not survive this buy, right? Because we also, gold can definitely still come back in it. So in any case, if you'll take this buy, I would say use 100 pip stop loss for gold. Yeah, so yeah, it looks good to me, but I am not going to take it. So this is why I exited the EU sell, because I did see this momentum building up. So just saving myself another loss right there. US 30, let me put back the markups. No. Yeah, there's literally nothing. On the 15. Yeah, I'm not gonna take it. I'm actually gonna take it off. But that would be how to enter the buy. If that matches with other confluences you guys have, then yes, that would be a buy on any other day. But today I do see like a bunch of ranging in the markets. Does anybody have any questions? We might have to end the live stream early, unless we get a lower high established on US 30. At that point, we can look for another sell on it. But until then, we don't have anything for US 30. So gold, that is the gold buy that you would be in, but I'm not taking it. EU, I did close the EU trade at break even, the EU sell, because we had this consolidation and support from the 5-minute confluences. So we do have a golden cross on the 5-minute and golden cross on the 5-minute and just consolidation. So so what I wanted here to happen was a 5-minute candle to drop below and close below the 9 EMA. But when you're, for example, the sell we had, and you have, even though we are entering the sell based on the high time frame confluences, so keep in mind, this golden crosses and death crosses almost lead to like a spike in liquidity. So if you're trending against a golden cross or death cross, you want a 5-minute candle to close with momentum below the 9 EMA. You don't want the 9 EMA to start supporting these candles like how it did on EU. So that's ideally the reason why I exited that sell on EU at break even. Yeah, I don't see us doing anything. So today might be minus 0.5. So this is the first overall losing day, because last week every day we just had a win. This week we had a 0.5 return on Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday we didn't have a live session. Today took a 0.5 loss. So ideally for the week, for the live trades, we are at break even. Let's see if we have anything else. See if we can get a lower high established here. I think it establishes after 5 candles. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's just wait for like 10 more minutes and see if this gets established as a lower high. Also, I will turn this one on. Um, s- So for this particular trade, what I'll do, if we do get a lower high and we get an entry, I will still go for a 0.5 risk. But then I will use I was thinking of using a 20 pip stop loss and 20 pip take profit. So instead, maybe even go for a 20 pip stop loss and a 40 pip take profit. So that way I'm able to use a higher lot size and still risk the same thing. But I just need a lower high on US 30 to be established. Gold is going up. Now for this EU trade, so we do have a lot of rejection from this hourly bearish high and the 15-minute bearish high and Monday high. Do I really see any re-entry? So this broke back below the trend line. If we do get a retest of the trend line and closure below, I will resell. I'll be looking to resell EU. So if this candle right here retests, so I don't want it to break above or even close above. So if we get this candle closing below this trend line, I'll look for another sell entry on EU. Because ideally right here, we are wicking away from the hourly bullish high, the Monday high, and also the 15-minute, hourly bearish high, 15-minute bearish high, and then the Monday high. So you can see, and also we do have a 4-hour bearish high here. So if this candle does close below this trend line, so you can see it rejected exactly from the trend line that I drew. So if we do get a closure below, I might look to resell EU. Let's see. This is just patience. So we do have 3 minutes for that to happen. Okay, there you go. So we do have a lower high on US 30. So what I'll do, I'll mark this up. I don't want all these markups. Okay, we do have a lower high. How do we enter? We want closure below the 9 EMA, retest of the 9 EMA and closure below. So if this candle retests the 9 EMA, because right now we do know that we have a trend line from this zone to this zone right here. So ideally the trend line is right here. So the trend line is next to where price is. So if this candle, ideally I would want it to come back up, touch the 9 EMA and then close below. So if it does close around where it is right now, it still would be an entry for a sell on US 30, but I'm looking for the best entry. So remember, our entries are not on impulse. Our entries are retest of the 9 EMA, which is this one right here, retest of the trend line. So the trend line is from this higher high to this lower high. So the trend line is somewhere here. When I turn that on, I just have a lot of markups and I don't want to have too many of those. Yeah, I'm not even gonna mark up this other one. Or retest of structure. So the next structure we have is around this lower high. So personally, I will wait for the retest of the 9 EMA and then I will sell US 30. I'm still going to risk 0.5%. I'm thinking if there's any need for me to do 20 pips stop loss. Let me see. 77. No, I'm still gonna go for 50 pips stop loss. So, but we do have the lower high established. Okay, EU. Yeah, for EU, I don't need this to close above there. But US 30, to me, US 30 is giving a better entry. Unfortunately, it's sinking all the way right now without us, so it is what it is. But so long as we have that established trend line, remember, if this trend line is supposed to hold, price should come back up and test the trend line, and then that's when we are gonna get the sell entry. So yeah, so literally for our original sell, we literally just got faked out, and then US 30 is back into profit for the original sell. But that's just that's something to be expected during the days before heavy news. You just have a lot of fake outs. So we have 30 seconds. Do have a bunch of liquidity. Let's see. $15 seconds. Also, I don't want this candle to close as a bullish candle. Let's see, EU. There you go. So that would be the sell on EU. There you go. Okay, let's try this again. And I am in that trade. That's the sort of candle I'm looking for. So you can see price came up to the hourly bearish high, to the 4-hour bearish high, to the 15-minute bearish high, and it's been wicking down from those zones. And then we did have a closure below our trend line. And then the next candle, tried to break above the trend line, came back, closed below as a bearish candle. So let's see how this trade will go. So for this one, I'm still using a 20 pip stop loss, 20 pip take profit, and risking 0.75 for that trade. US 30, let me see how far the trend line is. So the trend line is somewhere around here. So the way to look out for this trade, we don't want any candle to close above the hourly bearish high and above the 4-hour bearish high. So those zones are right here. So we don't want any candle closing above those zones. The other thing, we don't want a candle to close above the trend line. So when we get a candle closing above the trend line, this trend line, we don't want the next candle to retest the trend line and close above. So if we do get a candle closing above the trend line, I will be waiting for the next candle to see what happens to the next candle. So if this closes above the trend line, and then the next candle opens, retests the trend line and closes above, I will exit that position at it will probably be at around -4 pips or -5 pips. Because if that happens, then ideally they'll be using this trend line to go to the upside. So I'll just leave that to run. US 30, I'm waiting for price. I think the trend line to the downside is somewhere around here. Like if I turn on this, yeah, so the trend line is somewhere around this candle. So I'm waiting for US 30 around this zone to see how it reacts. So we have okay. So see how this candle closed above the trend line. So we don't want this next candle to retest the trend line and close above or even close above the trend line. If that happens, then I'll be just looking to close out that position early. So to stay in this position, I need this candle to come all the way back down, close below the trend line and close ideally as a bearish candle. So that's the only way I will stay in this trade right now.
think US 30 is ready now.
Let me turn this on. So the entry is around where our sell was previously. Ideally, I want the trend line to be retested. So the trend line is somewhere around here. Let me look at my T4. Okay. See, what do I want to do? I want to wait for the retest of this 9 EMA. That's 52. 402. I'm comparing to what I have on my MT4 also, but I do see a lot of sell pressure on US. If that's the case, they should move equally with EU. So if I'm looking for a sell on US 30 and I'm already in an EU sell, but I do see a lot of sell momentum for US 30. Also check. See what I want to do with US 30. Let me look at my MT4. I want to see how far a 50, but ideally I need a retest of the 9 EMA and I need a retest of, okay, so the 9 EMA was already retested, but I missed that. So, but for me, the best entry is a retest of this trend line, right? Because if this trend line is to hold, because we have a static trend line, because we have a higher high, let me turn this off. We have a higher high here, we have a lower high. Ideally, the best entry is the retest of that trend line itself. So yes, the 9 EMA retest was good, but I missed that. So I'm not in that position. So for me, I'll just wait for it to come back up and retest. So somewhere around 33,381, which unfortunately we do have a demand zone there. So if I hover over this zone, it's a demand zone, but it's inside an overall supply zone. Yeah, so right now I'm just gonna monitor EU. Since I still have the same bearish bias on EU, same as US 30. So if this comes back in profit, then that's what I want to see. So this is what we don't want, right? So if this, especially this candle right here, closes, so this the previous 5-minute candle closed above the trend line. This next 5-minute candle is attempting to close above the hourly bearish high and the 4-hour bearish high. So that is something we definitely do not want. For this US 30, I'm trying to see. 55 would be, because I'm also looking at those trend lines to the downside on my MT4. But I definitely need a confluence. I don't want to force any trade. So right now I'll just watch this. I'll just watch the EU trade and see how it goes. So we have 6 more minutes to be on the live session. So if anybody has any questions, this is the time to ask. So for you guys, right, this is what we don't want. So this is where you should start considering to cut the trade. But for me, I need a good, strong bullish closure above the hourly and 4-hour bearish. So keep in mind, right, for this hourly zones, high time frame zones where we have order blocks. So keep in mind, they normally try to squeeze people out first. So that's why we have our stop loss is so far above this zones. So in this zones, they try to squeeze people out before the actual move happens. So you can have something of this sort, squeeze people out, then you have ranging, and then you have the move back down. So Let's see. So we are in drawdown. That's 141. So halfway drawdown would be around this zone, right? So this is where you should start reanalyzing this position. So this would be the 10 pip zone. So if price comes around here and we don't have any signs of retracement, this is where you would start looking to exit the trade instead of riding the whole trade to stop loss all the way up here. Personally, I'll leave this trade running because I still do see this as them trying to squeeze people out before dropping back down. And in which case, I might go for a heavier or for a bigger take profit because I do see this structure being completed to the downside on EU. Yeah, but when price does get at around 1.09241, that's where you should start reanalyzing the sell trade. Yeah, still nothing for US 30. Gold is ideally just consolidating. So you have a lot of volume that died down. And keep in mind, we are in, what is it? We have NZD and AUD bank holiday. So we might just see some ranging. So similar to tomorrow, right? So tomorrow we have 4 bank holidays because it's, what is it? Good Friday, it's Easter. So tomorrow we only have the New York session open. Does anybody have any questions? If not, we'll just call it a day. So currently for today, I'm down 0.5%. This trade that I'm currently in is running. So right there, it's minus 10 pips in drawdown. And I just, for this trade, I risked 0.5%. So if this trade hits stop loss, for me, I'll just be down 1% for the day. And then at that point, I'll just wait for tomorrow. I do plan on trading NFP. So if you guys do want to trade that live, I can send out a Zoom link tomorrow, but I'll be trying to trade to catch a trade for NFP and then afterwards see the trades in the live session. So tomorrow will be a good day to try and catch a reversal, either reversal or continuation. So during NFP, I'm looking to catch continuations. I'm looking to trade with a trend. And then during New York session, that is where we can possibly catch a reversal. So does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, can I ask a question?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so you know how you said red folder news. You know when there's red folder news, does it go up or down, or is it can it go both ways? Like NFP tomorrow, for example.
Mhm. So it
Yeah.
can go both ways, right? So just by red folder just means it's high impact news. So it doesn't really give you the direction. But if you read like NFP, right, non-farm employment change is ideally changing the number of employed people during the previous month. So if you have more employed people, right, more people being employed, it means that less people are claiming unemployment, right? So it's ideally a good sign of health, like for the economy. So you'd expect like stocks to go up. I'm not sure, I don't remember the correlation for the US dollar, but ideally, if the news is better than expected for NFP, okay, so it actually says here, actual greater than forecast is good for currency. So if this happens, stuff like EU, so if the numbers are better than expected, you'd have anything pegged on the US dollar dropping, right? So you'd have like gold dropping, EU, NZD dropping, and I think EU is crossing up. So we also did get a EU 15-minute buy. Yeah, but anyway, during Redfold news events, price can go either way. And actually not every, so even though we do get, so for example, right, it can also do the opposite because it does say actual greater than forecast is good for currency. So we can have a positive number and then you see the US dollar, instead of the US dollar pumping, the US dollar is actually slumping. So you also need, even while trading news, you also need to check other confluences other than just fundamentals.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is the zone for you guys. you should start thinking of possibly cutting the loss on EU on this EU trade. For me personally, at this point, I'll just let it ride. Because I can afford to be down 1% for the day, so that's not a big deal for me. But other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, bye.
All right, see you later, bro.
All right.